Welcome back to Nightcap Chat, the pop culture podcast. We talk all things comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, and more. Today we are talking what's coming up in the world of video games. I'm Blade O'Neill.
I'm Lance O'Neill.
And before we dive into it all, once again, I just want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to us every week and liking and sharing and subscribing. I see all that, and I do really appreciate all of your guys' support. If you do enjoy the podcast, please leave a review. If you have a minute, especially on iTunes, those 5-star reviews, allow us opportunities to be featured, on these various podcast platform websites. And if you also enjoy it, tell your friends about it. As we grow, there's more and more different things we can do. But there is no E3 this year, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Womp, womp, womp.
And I think we would have had a really fun E3 this year. Because E3 isn't necessarily always that exciting. Last year was okay, even though I don't really remember why. But we would have had a PS5 reveal for sure,
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things. Gosh, what day was that? That was last Thursday, right? That they did that stream, I think.
Was it last Thursday? Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah. When you're in quarantine, the days just kind of blend together, and it's hard to keep anything apart. Yes. So Sony did a big live stream, and they showcased, a ton of different games that I believe they were all available at launch or going to be available relatively soon after the launch. Wasn't that the kind of gist of it?
Of all those games, most of them,
Most of them.
Some of them don't have release dates.
And then, of course, the big unveiling of the PlayStation 5, which I think is actually a pretty good looking console. I don't think we actually even talked about our thoughts yet, me and you, of what you think of the console itself. What do you think?
I think it's okay. I'm not crazy about it, but I don't think it's bad. I am just glad it wasn't the rumored pictures that were going around forever, because that was one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. I honestly couldn't believe that was a possibility, but apparently, it was wrong, which was good. I like that there's an option to have a disc or no disc.
Sure.
I think it kind of makes sense, I guess. If it means saving some money for them to produce and better chance for someone to purchase it, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're going to only be having digital games anyway, it's nice to save the $100 for sure. My only thing, and what makes me want the disc version, is I don't want to have to plug in something else to watch my Blu-rays.
Okay.
And since it has 4K Blu-ray support, you're like, I do have Blu-rays. And admittedly, I always buy the Blu-ray pack with the digital copy, and I have more expired digital copies than I do of ones I actually redeemed, unfortunately.
I have a 4K player, so I'm not concerned about it.
But do you want to plug in two different ones when you can have one thing plugged in? You know what I mean?
I'm going to have it plugged in either way.
Are you? Why?
I have so many HDMI ports, it doesn't matter. Everything's always be plugged in.
Fair enough.
And on top of it, a lot of the movies I have on 4K are digital 4K, so I can just watch it anyway.
Well, you have to... exchange those codes.
Yes, I have all the codes.
Okay.
I always exchange those codes.
Yeah, I'm so upset.
But the sleekness to it, it's pretty good. I don't know. Have they said that can you lay it down? I'm assuming can it only stand up? Do we know?
That's a good question. Like I'm not sure.
Because usually they would have. I feel like they would have shown like one of them standing up and then just one of them laying down. But there looks like there's a stand underneath it. And it's standing up.
They might just be really pushing that. I would be shocked if they forced you to stand it up. Like there's nothing about it that would make you do it one way or the other. Like you can, even if it's not meant to be sideways, you can still do it. There shouldn't be anything, especially on the non
on the digital one. Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you unless there's no like little foot for it and you can scratch it. But even then.
What do you think about the controllers? To me, they look very Xbox-y for the controllers.
I think they're great. They're fine. to me, the Xbox One controller / Xbox 360 controller, they kind of figured out, this is generally, what's working across the board, and just PlayStation is kind of just going from where they're at to Xbox, but it's still not that far off anyway.
It's not. It's just that PlayStation's typically a smaller controller, and Xbox is typically a bigger controller, and certain people care. Obviously that matters a little bit. But I mean, I feel like it looks. I don't know if you have the picture of the controllers pulled up, but it kind of looks like the Scuff controller I have.
Okay.
The Scuff controller is it's for PlayStation, but it's just like essentially a bigger, thicker PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
So it reminds me a lot of that, which is cool. I like it a little bigger. PlayStation controllers, I agree.
I like feeling like something in my hands. As long as it's not too big.
But what do you feel about the console? How it looks?
I think it's cool. I hope it comes in black. I don't like white. Accessories. Like as far as like the way I decorate and everything, like white would really like clash with my stuff. So I really hope it comes in black. If I'm not mistaken, the PlayStation controllers have been shown in both white and black. So I'd be shocked if a black version of this console was not available. And even if it's not available at launch, I bet that there will be one relatively soon.
I'm sure there'll be a special edition, Star Wars one that has like a logo or something,
Sure. Yeah.
So,
I mean, and, I generally don't buy consoles at launch anyway. You got to wait until after, maybe the first Christmas, which is when it's coming out.
Yeah, I didn't buy my PlayStation PS4 until a year after, at least.
Yeah, it was at least a year for us as well, I think. And really, none of the games have really hooked me to really, really want to buy one. The biggest thing was like they didn't have a price reveal during this.
Shocking. And it makes me more worried about the price because they didn't say anything.
Yeah, because
it seems like they don't want to like put any negativity on the hype because they know people are going to be like, that's expensive. Yeah. But there was it's a could mean nothing, but I don't know if you saw like there was like a leaked image of they're doing all these places are now doing pre-orders for PlayStations, and one of them had a price, and the price was
$700,
$699. Yeah,
that was that was a common clickbait article going around just because like it's a placeholder price, like it doesn't confirm anything. And that's something that's very common that happens. And GameStop pre-orders are notorious for that, for certain things. But I mean, I don't think it'll go that high.
I hope not, because that's just not even.
Wherever it starts, it's not gonna stay there. Even if it's $500, it's gonna go down. But here's the thing, though. I mean, just for a little perspective, you're in theory, you're going to have this thing, 8, 9, 10 years. What is $500 for that much entertainment when you go buy an iPhone for $1,000 and you use it for a year, maybe 2, I mean, like, what are we really complaining about here?
I use my iPhone for like 6 years. I don't know. Sure.
Okay, but
I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm just
in
kidding.
General,
I went from an iPhone 6 to an iPhone X. So
X.
Yeah.
Is that an 8?
Huh?
Isn't that like 8 or 9?
Well, they had 8 and they had 9 and then X. Right? There was no 10 or there was no 9.
There's no 9. Yeah. So X is 9 because there's no iPhone 9. So iPhone. I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't had an iPhone in a while. But yeah, you get my point. It's something you're going to enjoy. Like, and if you're going to use it, like I always make this argument. You go out to have a couple of drinks with your friends out to dinner. What are you easily spending? $100 at least. Especially if you're married or something for 2 hours of entertainment. How many hundreds of hours of entertainment are you getting. You know, sure, there's a cost of games and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. Unless
But
it's $1,000, you know, what's the problem?
I think the real question is, though, is what is PlayStation offering anything that is worth being invested in? You know, it's like certain people like me and you, we have PlayStations. I have no interest in getting an Xbox, don't or anything like that. But we also have PCs that are capable of playing video games. Is there anything that would make me say, hey, like, I'll invest in getting a PlayStation because this game is exclusive for PlayStation, when especially all these games that are multiplayer that I know me and you both love, a lot of them are going to be cross-platform, so it doesn't even really matter what you play on anymore. You think that PlayStation, so far at least, has shown that there's enough out there that you'd be like, yeah, take my money.
Are you asking me if I think?
Like, what do you think?
Not quite, because I don't feel like I need one yet.
Right.
I will say this is something really small, but it's a step toward adding on things that I'm interested in. This is such a stupid little detail on what they showed on, and like what's in the box with the PlayStation 5. There's a media controller.
Okay.
And I'm really excited for that. You know, PlayStation View isn't a thing anymore.
Right.
But I wanted a media controller for when we did have it. We ended up switching back to Sling, so it doesn't matter anymore. But I wish we just had a little regular media controller instead of using the PlayStation controller. And I know they have them now, but the reviews on them are garbage. I can't tell you how many people I've seen complaining that their controller just died after a few months. So, like, to me, that's unacceptable. So I figured, you know, this has got to be a decent little media controller. So, I mean, we're also in the age of the smart TV, you know,
right.
Like I have Sling, Netflix, and Hulu all within my TV. I don't have to turn on anything else.
Right.
You know, I've got a Chromecast plugged in there so I can, you know, voice command my TV to turn on and off. I can cast to it.
Yeah, my TV came with a Chromecast built in.
I use it for Twitch, you know, like as far as media consumption, like I watch Twitch on there. But the LG WebOS just got a Twitch app. Now, the Twitch app that they just released for WebOS, which is LG's platform, is garbage. You cannot log in. So what that means is the people you're following are not suggested right there. You literally have to go and type for it. So like it's borderline useless. I'm assuming they're gonna add updates or something because they just now got the Twitch app, but I'm still using PlayStation 4 to watch Twitch because I do watch Twitch pretty often. So yeah, I mean, is Horizon an exclusive?
Yes.
Okay, so I am very interested in that. I'm not completely sold on it because I haven't played Zero Dawn yet. But
well, actually, I was going to tell you, you have it already?
No, I found it for $20. It's the greatest hit. It's greatest hits on PlayStation.
It's $10.
It's $20.
10.
Where is it $10?
I don't know. I got an email that says that they're $10 now.
Oh, I just checked yesterday.
Oh no, I got an email today. It says
okay, $10. I'll buy it. I'll buy it right now. As soon as we get off the stream, I will.
I love. It was literally one of. I'm not. I love solo player games, but I haven't enjoyed them much lately because I just prefer playing with friends. Yeah. But it's one of my favorite solo playing games. It's right up there with Skyrim.
Wow.
And Spider-Man. It is such an amazing game, and it's fun, and it's a completely whole new universe, you know. So it has like, you know, you're fighting animals, but they're also like robotic at the same time. So it's just the dynamic's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the character is really fun. It's something you can get into, and the lore of it's really cool. So I don't know. I think it's something that's definitely, I would say, a positive for PlayStation, but it's not something that I'm like, oh yeah, I have to now buy PlayStation.
Yes. I think you need like a few wins, you know, kind of like that. Cause you know, Halo would have kept me going on buying Xboxes, but Halo, I think it was 4, it was so bad. I could not get into it. It's just, and I didn't really, honestly, like I don't know if I touched the campaign, but I was in it for the multiplayer, and it felt like Call of Duty, and I was like, this isn't why I enjoyed Halo. Like if I wanted to go play Call of Duty, I'd go buy Call of Duty. You know, like Halo's multiplayer was more unique than that, and I felt like they tried too hard to do something different, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, well, I mean, Halo is the whole reason why I bought an Xbox at all.
Yeah.
I didn't really care which one I was going to get either way, but I literally played Halo for like, I don't know, an hour at a friend's house, and then was like, I have to get, it was such a good game. I was like, I have to get Halo 3 and play it, Halo 2, Halo 3, and it was so good. And then ODST was okay, Reach was and it just went downhill from there, and I was no longer interested in getting an Xbox. I thought I was going to have Xbox for the rest of my life because Halo was in it, and I loved Halo, and Halo was the greatest game I ever played.
Yep.
And then I immediately ended up going to PlayStation because I just didn't care. Just because you had a PlayStation and a couple other friends had PlayStations, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to PlayStation because they're not offering me anything.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though, we've kind of in a way have returned to Xbox without returning to Xbox with this PC pass, this Game Pass or whatever it's called. You know, we've played Sea of Thieves so many times already. You get Gold, Xbox Live Gold or whatever it's called, and access to all these incredible games. As long as this is still going, like people like you and me, like we have good PCs. Like we don't need to buy an Xbox to play Xbox games and play with each other.
Right. And to play at 120 frames.
Exactly.
Not what they're offering.
So aside from Nintendo, because Nintendo is just proprietary and, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, whatever, you have it for that. So PlayStation has to bring something to the table to make us want it.
Right.
And it's probably going to be exclusive games. And probably like adding things like Sling will help, especially like you don't have your own TV service anymore. Throw Sling on there. Develop a Sling app, I really don't know any other decent cable cutting services, aside from that, I guess, YouTube TV. But it won't be hard to get those on there because you want this to be not just a gaming console, but like your central like media consuming platform, watch Twitch, watch TV,
basically
play your games, play your music.
Basically what you're trying to turn your PlayStation into, they should try to turn their PlayStation into, is how I should say it, is into almost a computer.
Absolutely.
Essentially,
yeah.
Which is kind of difficult, but at the same time,
the technology is there.
The technology is there. But I do think that they still need like one more, for me, they need at least one more year of like showing us new games to really sell me.
Well, we're going to get a Spider-Man sequel.
We are getting a Spider-Man sequel set for holiday 2020, so it's actually coming relatively soon.
No. I mean a Spider-Man sequel, not just the Miles Morales spinoff.
The Miles Morales spinoff.
Because now they're saying like this is not the sequel. This is its own game within the universe about Miles. And we're still getting a Spider-Man sequel to the Peter Parker story.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So that's completely different, and I'm very excited for that because I'm personally not a huge fan of the Miles Morales character. I grew up with Peter Parker, and I enjoyed that story. So I was disappointed that the story would have just ended because we had some after the credit scenes, and without saying any spoilers, like there's some stuff coming up, that I really want to see play out.
Right. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go with the Miles Morales one. I feel like it'd almost be kind of weird to do it without Peter Parker at all, or because I feel like you included Miles in the first game. Why wouldn't you include Peter in the Miles spinoff? Because he should have something to do with it at some point. Even if unless you think that in the last game you're walking around as Miles Morales without powers, just. Are you going to be Peter Parker just like walking around delivering a pizza, but with just no powers?
That's
using his powers.
Well, you were Peter Parker a couple of times without powers.
Were you?
Yeah, like you got in your lab coat and you went into Otto's.
Oh,
right. You had to just like do certain things. Like you weren't allowed to use your powers as Peter there.
Right.
And those I tolerated a little more because I felt like you're still Spider-Man, but I was just jumping around like to Miles and Mary Jane. I was like, I don't like sneaking around, like I wish I could have just skipped it, like a little bit of it's fine, but it was just so much.
It did kind of get annoying.
Yeah. I was like, no,
and then
I don't want to do this.
And some of the stuff was like Mary Jane, like, come on, you have no business like being in this situation. Like, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I completely agree. But I am really looking forward to a sequel to that. So, I mean, now that we know Miles Morales is coming out, I'm sure it'll still be a little time before we get the Peter Parker sequel that we're looking for. And, I love the Tomb Raider games, and those aren't exclusive anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, that kind of sucks. A lot of the games they showed during this PlayStation event, I thought were really weird.
I would say like 70% of them were really weird.
Really weird. Like, just the arts, it was just like psychedelic or just, I don't know. Just
well, you had different types of weird. You had that one weird bug snacks game where there was like bugs and then you ate them and they're like sentient, and it was just it was super weird.
And if you eat the bug, like you can eat like it's a hamburger bug, but then your hand becomes a hamburger because you ate the hamburger bug.
Yeah, it was weird. And they had like a weird song. It was something else. And then you had something like completely different in the Ghostwire Tokyo game that was just like, this is how Tokyo is, but it's like supernatural. There's ghosts and demons everywhere.
What really made that worse was the guy who introduced it said, like, you get to experience Tokyo like you've never before. Like, wow, like that's really cool. Like, kind of like Spider-Man, you can experience Manhattan and you feel like you're in Manhattan. Like, I can just walk around Tokyo. And then there's zombies or ghosts, and I'm like, is this what Tokyo is like? I mean, you did a bad job setting this up here, dude.
Yeah. And then I can't remember the name of that one game, but there was the game with the weird animal people thing.
Oh, yeah, there was a few furry games now.
Yeah, they were really weird.
That was funny. But how about that one I was saying looked like Hot Wheels? You brought up that Hot Wheels game a few episodes back, and now there's this arena game where you're driving around cars, and there's kind of a similar thing going on there because you can drive around, but you're still battling.
Right.
Very similar to the Hot Wheels game that you brought up.
It did look very similar, and honestly, I'm kind of interested in it. They didn't, again, especially with some of these trailers, they didn't show you enough, I felt like, gameplay for some of them that you could really get a grasp and feel for like, what is it I'm actually doing in this game, especially because it seemed like those characters were like dancing for half the trailer and walking around while there's cars driving. So I was confused. Is this a game that you walk around, or are you driving cars? And then by the end I was like, oh, it's kind of like you said, you're driving cars, and it's like the Hot Wheels thing where like you get certain abilities and you're able to like attack people with the like different stuff. It looks good. I think it could be fun in the aspect of that for a multiplayer. I don't know about if there's anything else. It's called Destruction All-Stars. That's what it was called. I know, it's interesting. All the skins though look like they were like some type of ripoffs from Fortnite though.
I was just gonna say, like, they were really trying to channel the Fortnite crowd with the way you had these characters and you can dress them up
with diverse skins, you know.
See, yes, yeah, exactly. And I think that's what the dancing around was, because I think it's like, to me it seemed like different emotes for like you won, so your guy is dancing on your car. But as far as the running around, that seemed like there might be something within the gameplay. So I don't know if your car gets destroyed, you have to run to like a certain spot to get a new one, or, you know, possibly you can get run over and then you're out of the game. Maybe, you know, but sure, why not? I mean, that's one of the things about a lot of the car games, right? You know, that nobody ever really thinks about, you know, because you get into a crash and you kind of start over. But your avatar character never really does anything. Like you're just you're a car, you know. So it's interesting that they've incorporated that human avatar dynamic.
What a cool dynamic that could be for maybe a Mario Kart game. Mario Kart, you crash like when you're doing the battle mode. It's just you have 3 balloons typically, right? And you die, and that's it. But what if you like hit once and then you have to like? I mean, it's Mario game. Like every Mario game, you can run around. Yoshi, it's not like this just new thing you'd have to develop.
Yeah,
they each could have their own abilities. You'd have to give Mario the triple jump. Yoshi does the and then you could just keep. I don't know. I think that would be kind of interesting.
Interesting, yeah, sure. And you know, I mean, maybe after the success or non-success of this game, maybe Nintendo will see that and incorporate that into the next Mario Kart. Maybe. Now, a game that is weird, and it's kind of like the other game that we were just talking about, but actually looks interesting, is Stray. And which one was that?
That's the one where all of the humans are dead. There's robots, but there's just a cat.
Oh, yes. And you're like, where's this going? Like,
where is this going?
Robots.
And you're like, okay, I think all the people are dead, and you're going to be a cat in a world of robots.
And that was kind of like the twist at the end, because like it started kind of heading that way, and I think somebody made that joke when we were watching it, and then at the end it lands on the cat. The camera does, and it says Stray. Like, oh, you're literally you're a cat. In a world without humans, and there's just robots. Like, I gotta go find someone to purr against, or
I'm gonna knock over some batteries from the robots.
Yeah, I'm gonna unplug you from your charging station.
I don't know. It actually has my attention. I will say that. I'm not saying that I'm going to buy it, but it has my attention for updates. That's for sure. Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, cat simulator. That's essentially what's going to come down to. Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest thing that stuck out was the New Horizon game, West, whatever. Nothing really stood out for me aside from that. I mean, they showed a new Resident Evil, you know, and I literally made the joke. You know, I said, you know, was this Resident Evil Russia? You know, and sure enough, you know, it was Resident Evil Russia. Village, I guess it was called Village. Resident Evil.
Village. It was called Village.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of. I don't play those games, so I mean, I'm nobody to be impressed. You know.
Yeah, it looks okay. I'm kind of. I don't really care about those games. However, I am going to be playing a similar game to that Last of Us Part 2 soon. When that comes out, I'm going to play it at launch because that'll be fun. It'll be something fun to stream.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that, especially because I played the first one. The first one was actually really good, but it gave me so much anxiety I had to stop playing it. But let's see how this one goes. And plus, Laura Bailey's in it. She's the voices for it, one of the main voices for it. So you know that's a plus.
Who is she?
She does like Critical Role. She does. She's the voice of. She's the voice of Trunks and voice of.
Oh, okay.
So many people. I could go on and on. She's actually in War of the North. She's the main elf chick in War of the North, the Lord of the Rings game that I love.
Okay.
She's Black Widow in every Marvel anything, any animated thing or video game. She was every female character in the new Spider-Man game, basically.
Fun. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's cool. One game that I thought looked really cool halfway through the trailer that they showed for the PlayStation. And then they started showing me gameplay, and they didn't show gameplay on many games. But once they showed me gameplay for this game, I immediately lost all interest. Was Gran Turismo.
Okay. Why did you lose interest?
Because it's just like boring.
Gran Turismo is just driving around anyway.
I know, but it didn't look like anything special. It just looked like I feel like I go grab Gran Turismo 5 and it's the same exact experience. You know what I mean?
You get the new cars.
Who cares? It's just like they were showing the graphics and it's like, boom, like you're like, oh, wow, this looks amazing. It looks so realistic. And then they're showing gameplay and it was just I was so bored. I was like, okay, you literally lost me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't play those games, you know, as far as racing, like I'd rather just play Mario Kart.
I mean, Kevin, I'm more of a Need for Speed kind of guy, you know?
Yeah.
where you totally deck out your car and you're just in regular streets. It's not like, you know what I mean, and just do whatever you want kind of a thing.
Yeah, as opposed to being like confined to different racetracks. Sure, I can see that. And man, how long are they going to be milking Grand Theft Auto 5?
I don't know, forever. It's honestly getting ridiculous, I feel like.
When they first started showing it, I was like, oh, cool, a new Grand Theft Auto. And I was like, wait a second. And I was like, Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm like, okay, they're showing, okay, you had Grand Theft Auto 5. Now get ready for Grand Theft Auto 6. But that's not where it went. It was like, we're enhancing and expanding Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, so I guess I'm excited to play it now. Because I think it's going to be free, right?
It's free on the for PC on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
I haven't played it. And I've always wanted to play it, but at the same time I've always not played it because I'm like, I don't want to get into it. And then GTA 6 comes out and then I'm like, oh well, now I go, you know what I mean? So I've been waiting for GTA 6. And I was like, oh, finally. And then it was GTA 5. I was like, what is going on? I just want a GTA 6 so I can start. I want to start new with everybody else. I don't want to just jump in. How long has it been since it's been out? Like 10 years? I'm not even exaggerating. How long has it been?
It can't be 10 years because I bought Grand Theft Auto
September 17th, 2013. So it's been 7 years.
Wow.
They've been milking this.
Wow. That's
GTA 4 crazy. Came out in 2008. So that one lasted one lasted 5 years. And this one's on year 7.
Wow. And I didn't buy it that early on. I must have got 4 around when 5 came out. Probably because it was on sale or something.
Yeah, I can't believe that they put out another DLC. I'm actually kind of I'm not that surprised that they're making that much money, but I am a little bit. But the only reason I'm not is just because it's so popular on Twitch still. I mean, people love watching GTA 5. Yeah. And I know a lot of it has to do with there's a lot of like you could do a lot of role playing with it because it's multiplayer, you know, online multiplayer with your friends and everything.
Yeah.
But it looks. I can't say anything about it. It looks good. I'm interested, but I'm probably not gonna. It's not gonna make me pull the trigger on a PlayStation though.
Yes, no, it won't. But if it's there when I do get one, I will probably try it out, depending on if and when we get the next Grand Theft Auto. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Any other ones? Anything else stood out to you?
Not really. There's a couple of boring games. Returnal looked boring.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a ripoff of movies and stuff. And Hitman 3, I guess that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I never played Hitman, so I don't like sneaking around. You know, so
I know
that doesn't.
It's okay. I love Assassin's Creed. I played like almost every Assassin's Creed game. Yeah. Love those games. Hitman's okay. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but it's kind of cool that we're getting a sequel to that little now trilogy.
Well, they're saying like this is going to wrap up the trilogy too. From what he was saying, he's like this is going to be the final installment and whatever. I mean, I guess we'll see if they stick to that or not, or if they do spin-offs or whatever.
Yeah, and there was a couple of games that were like almost disturbing, like that one with the weird frog-looking people that were like dying, that were like enslaved and being murdered.
Oh yeah, the blue frog things.
The blue thing, yeah.
That was really weird. I was like, these things look like, I don't know if you remember, kind of like near the dawn of the internet, there was this little viral video, this little blue guy, you know, and he had like a vest on and he was naked. And I mean, like, there's an uncensored version where like he's
gotcha.
You know, and he makes a stupid little sound. And he gets on like this invisible motorcycle, and like ring, ding, 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 and he rides off, and it was all CG. Like, it reminded me of that, the way these creatures looked. So like,
yeah,
really weird.
And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's called Oddworld Soulstorm, and it just looks stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna hold back on that. It just looks dumb.
Yeah. No, some of their showcase things were a little weak, but I mean, a Miles Morales game is definitely very exciting. You know, there's a huge fan base for that. The new Horizon, now that I see the new one is coming out, it reminded me about Horizon Zero Dawn, and now I'm going to have to go buy it and play it, especially now that I've caught up on my video gaming.
And you won't be disappointed, that's for sure. But actually, one game, I actually forgot to mention this because we were watching this live on my stream, the PlayStation announcements. Demon Souls is a game that we were watching. We're like, what is this? This looks amazing, which I didn't realize, I guess, is like a reboot, a remake. But the game that has the big fiery dragon, you remember that?
Oh, yeah, it was at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that game the graphics look amazing. I'm interested. They haven't shown, obviously, much gameplay. But I'm interested in whatever that might be. It kind of has a Skyrim aspect, but also maybe a little bit of Final Fantasy. Kind of like if you took those two things and put it together.
It was darker than that, though. More like
it was a little darker.
Dark Souls or something.
Okay, yeah, Dark Souls. I'd say Dark Souls E. I don't know. It looked interesting. It has my attention. That's for sure.
Yeah, it really. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. So you really got to sell me a little more on that.
I'm assuming it's an RPG game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going under the assumption. If it's like a hack and slash, I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to be.
If it's a hack and slash, I have zero interest.
Yeah.
Which is how I felt about, they had a little trailer for, what's it called? Godfall?
I don't know. When during the PlayStation event?
Yeah. There was a trailer for it, and I was like, okay, cool. But then I looked it up. Yeah, Godfall. It's a hack and slash game, so I was like, well, I'm not interested in hack and slash because, I don't know. To me, it's just not fun because you don't do anything but push the same, like, 2 buttons over and over again.
Yeah. No, I get that. Well, we'll see. I do feel I will get a PlayStation 5. You know, like we haven't heard, as of recording this, we haven't heard anything about Overwatch 2, which I'm very excited for. And I want the ability to play in my room, you know, on my bed, you know, on my TV. So that in and of itself should sell me. But I own 2 copies of Overwatch. Like I do have it for the PC as well, but I just don't want to fall behind on my skins or anything like that. But is it going to come out for PlayStation 4? 5? Both?
I would say, knowing Blizzard, it's going to come out for both.
So is my 4 going to work on the 5 then? You see what I'm saying?
Buy it digitally. Maybe
wouldn't I not buy it digitally so that way I can guarantee that it worked? Because it's not backwards compatible. Do we have confirmation on that?
It's not backwards compatible?
It's not?
Is it, or you're saying it's not, or you don't know?
I'm saying I don't know.
I thought that the whole big thing was PlayStation was going to be backwards compatible.
Okay. So like
I could be wrong.
So these questions right here are going to determine, you know, Overwatch for me. Because I still play it a lot. You know, I'm still really into it. You know, I'm collecting the skins. I have all my Pharah skins, all my Mercy skins, and I'm really close on having all of Ana, Mei, and Widowmaker skins as well.
So, article 4 days ago that was posted says,
okay,
which PS4 games will be backwards compatible with PS5 in March 2020?
Whose article is this?
Eurogamer.
Okay.
They revealed that nearly all of the top 100 PS4 games would be playable on the PS5 at launch.
Okay, so it is something they can patch later. So top 100 Overwatch has to be top 100 for PlayStation.
So it should be backwards compatible. So
okay,
I would say just buy Overwatch 2 for PS4 and you'd be fine.
Yep, that sounds good to me. I'm in it to win it. So today, we recorded this on Monday. EA released a trailer for the new Star Wars game called Squadrons, and I am so excited. This is don't laugh at me. This is all I wanted from a Star Wars game. Like even from Battlefront, the new Battlefront one. like I like the dogfights, like I remember playing Rogue Squadron and what was the one for GameCube?
There's Rogue Squadron 3.
It was Rogue Squadron.
There was also Clone Wars that I think there was a lot of flying because you went to different planets and you were using all this stuff from Star Wars Episode 1 and 2. You used all those old ships, like the ship from Naboo.
Rogue Squadron, right?
There was Rogue Squadron, but then there was another one, but I think it was just called not Clone Wars. It was something weird. I don't remember the name. I could be wrong. Could have been Rogue Squadron 3, but I feel like it's not.
Because I remember, because you could unlock the Naboo Starfighter.
Right.
I do remember that. But like some of my favorite Star Wars games were those games. Like I just want to fly around, within my X-Wing or whatever and shoot things, And I can't believe it took this long to get a modern dogfighting Star Wars game. I'm not talking about Battlefront and Battlefront 2, like just having it as like one of the things, because like that was not enough,
Well, I think it's from a company standpoint probably looked at as more of a gamble. Wow. And I'm only saying that because can you name me huge game, because you're talking about a Star Wars game, so you're expecting a lot of money, you want to put a lot of money into it, and you want it to hopefully want it to be like an Overwatch or a Fortnite that like is a huge game, Call of Duty that like everyone's playing and has a huge player base, right? Mm-hmm. But when you have games that can you just name me a game that is just dogfights that is extremely like that level of popularity?
I don't think so. I mean,
so I think that's what
might be the closest thing, but even then,
it's not really like you're flying around shooting things. So I think from a company standpoint, it's always just been a worry of, I don't know if we can really sell just flying around only and killing people and doing that over and over again. I think that's what it was. And that's why they would put it in the games where it's just a regular shooting game. And then, here's a dogfight mode for those people that really liked it. And I think that's where the skepticism from them comes from. I'm not saying it can't be good. I'm just saying I think it's a higher risk.
I guess I can see them thinking that, but I mean, like, I think they really shouldn't, because we don't have it, because it is Star Wars. It's easy for people to pick up and be interested in the different vehicles that we're able to access or unlock.
The only thing I'm worried about is because they showed, I mean, it's a cinematic trailer. I still have no idea really what this game's offering me.
Yeah.
Do we even know is there like a huge story mission? Is this just an online multiplayer? Is it a little bit of both?
I think it has to be both. If you're putting out a game like this and there's no multiplayer, like just forget it. Like
no, it has to. To me, it has to have multiplayer, because that's what I feel like what the trailer was getting.
Mm-hmm. But
it was saying it's like a 5v5 is what I got out of it.
I think there has to be a story based on the cinematic, because I mean, I don't know if you caught it, like Hera Syndulla from Rebels was at the council, and some of the things they were saying, like, I feel like there's going to be a campaign, even though it's probably going to be a short little.
That's my only worry.
Thing.
If it's something short, I'm just saying, for me, I don't know if I'm that interested, because I don't know if I could play a dogfighting game hours and hours on end. Like when it was in for Battlefront, it was fun for like, I don't know, an hour, 20, 30 minutes. And then I got bored of it
I'm sure it'll be short. I mean, like it's a $40 game. We found out,
right.
Which for a new game, like that's $20 under every other new game that usually comes out, so
but
I bet it's short.
With that though, does that mean it's not going to be as polished or as good? Or does it mean there's going to be, and it's because this is also EA. Is there microtransactions? Do we have to pay for an X-Wing? Do I have to pay for a Y-Wing? Because that would be extremely frustrating.
I think after the whole debacle that happened during Battlefront 2, I would be shocked if they made that mistake again. I think what you're saying here with, like, there was a risk in, like, it's just dogfighting, but also like there's some degree of simplicity, because once you lock down the mechanics and you're just flying around nothing, essentially, like within reason,
right?
How many of these things are going to be in space next to a planet?
I hope not. I hope they're not all in space.
But you know what I mean, though.
I know what you're saying.
Certain amount of these. You know what I mean? Like, you can only do so much. So, they realize there's only a certain value. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like you can't do as much. What I think is incredibly exciting, because within all these rogue squadrons, whatever, like, how often have we been able to be a TIE fighter? Aside from like Battlefront being on the bad guy side, this one really seems like there's a rebel side and an empire side. So, like, I don't know if you're going to be able to do the campaign one way and another, which is another reason why it might be short, because you can play it again, as the rebels, and you play it again as the empire. It's going to be the same thing on the teams. Like, the TIE pilots are my favorite. I think I've said that before on this podcast. So, like, I'm so excited to hop in a TIE fighter and all the different TIE vehicles. Like, I have a TIE fighter costume. Or it's a reserve pilot, but I'll have the armor soon. Like, that's what's most exciting for me.
I understand that. I can see that. I'm excited for it. I just think that I'm just not getting my hopes up for anything, because they haven't shown me gameplay. So I have no idea. And it's EA. They've done so bad in the last couple games. Not saying Star Wars games, but Anthem was horrible, and I was so hyped until I actually played it and saw it.
Did they do Anthem? They published Anthem. I'm not sure they developed Anthem.
I think they did Anthem.
I'm not sure about Anthem.
And Apex Legends, to me, was not that good. I don't know what. I think, to me, the hype was there was literally nothing else to play, so it got popular because it was free, and that was it.
I hardly think that counts, because Apex Legends was trying to monopolize this Fortnite craze.
Yeah.
And everyone tried to do it. It was,
yeah.
So, like, to me, that doesn't count, because they're like, wow, this stupid Fortnite thing is popular. We need to just get something out.
And at least they didn't. At least this isn't like a Fortnite battle royale. I mean, a Star Wars battle royale.
Oh my goodness! Could you imagine? No thanks.
That would be terrible. You just drop in as a stormtrooper.
Because Jedi Fallen Order was really good. Now, you can't really compare it, because this is it's a first person, campaign kind of thing. But I really enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order. Battlefront 2 did suck. I will give you that.
It was horrible.
I know. Apparently they fixed it. I know there's still a fan base. There's a lot of things that they improved. But to me, what I didn't like about it was, like, the way it felt. The way it played.
It felt horrible.
It just, like, you didn't have to change it from Battlefront 1 and it would have been fine.
I don't know why they didn't. They literally just had to copy and paste Battlefront 1 and then add more content, and that was literally all we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefront 1 was great. We played that game into the ground. We were like I remember, like, we kept playing it, and this was like years into it when, like, nobody probably was playing anymore. But I also remember when we would play, we would, like, load into games, and we would keep fighting the same people. Like, it was the same gamer tags, because there's literally nobody else playing on the servers. It was so like dead by then. But we had a blast. Like, I love that game. I thought that game was great. The graphics were amazing. The gameplay felt great. It was no content. It was 5 maps, and there was just really no content to it.
Well, like,
that was the downfall.
Like I was telling you earlier, though, like, to me, like, half of the fun of a multiplayer game is just playing with your friends. As long as you're there doing it together and enjoying it. Like, that's why it's easier to sell me on a multiplayer game than it is to get me into a single player game. Because as long as I get to play with some people, it's going to be fun to a degree. And, as a matter of fact, all of these games that, we try to play together or consider getting, like, Battlefront has been, like, my, not standard, but, like, like, I haven't been playing with you guys since then.
Right.
Aside from Sea of Thieves now. Sea of Thieves is now, and we just got into it, a month ago or something. This is the first time we're consistently playing a game together, or for me anyway. I know some of you guys were playing Fortnite and stuff, but, like, I
and
just fell
Overwatch
off of it, and
you got an Overwatch late.
I'm still playing Overwatch, and
I know, but you got on after I already put like 400 hours into Tracer, and I was like, I'm so done with this. And then you're getting into it. I was like, yeah, I'm so sick of it. I literally just get triggered every game. It was bad, but yeah, I mean, I get you. I see what you're saying. I hope it's something as good as Battlefront, as much as we enjoyed the first Battlefront.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm just. They haven't shown me much. The trailer looked amazing. I'm not gonna lie. The EA always does a great job with their graphics, especially with the Star Wars games. They always look so realistic.
Yeah,
crazy. I just want to see more. But we'll get more Thursday. They're gonna do live gameplay and show us. So hopefully it'll be something really cool.
Yeah.
So let's just get into this a little bit. What is something that you really want to see? If there's one thing that you get out of that, what do you want to see, like, specifically?
I want to be a TIE fighter.
No, okay.
I want to be a TIE fighter.
You know you're going to be a TIE fighter.
That's the only thing I want.
What else? Something else.
I think what's going to be the most frustrating thing, like if you were to screw up a dogfighting game like this, when you are a TIE fighter or an X-Wing or just the small one-man ships, if it is too slow, it's going to be incredibly frustrating. Like, they're going to have to be zippy to an extent. You know, if you're sitting there and you're turning to the left and it's taking forever and you're trying to like turn around because somebody is on your tail, you know, I want to see that there's a little zip. You know, I think that's what's going to really determine how good the gameplay is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to see some zip. It's okay if for whatever reason you get into a scenario where you can be a Star Destroyer. If that's slow, great. Whatever. You know, I get that. But I want to see some zippiness here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I get you.
What about you?
I think for me, I want to see something completely new and different. And I mean that by just a completely different aspect. Not in the entirety of the game, but like a game mode where like you can be in a Millennium Falcon and you're piloting it, but I'm downstairs shooting the gun or something. Where maybe you're going up against a similar like rebel ship or maybe multiple enemies, but just give me a different dynamic to the game that really makes me say, "Wow, that's interesting and that's cool." That like me and my friends can be in the same ship together and work together, or you know, even the snow speeders, you could be in the front, I'm in the back with the tow cable, and it's just like, hey, Blade, make this turn real tight. I'm gonna try to get the tow cable on this AT-AT. Just give me something different that I can play with my friends that makes it a little more interactive than just flying around and doing the same thing.
It's really interesting. The being on the same ship thing really reminds me of Sea of Thieves, and it's so fun being on the same ship and just having your different jobs. You know, and you're working together as a unit. You know, you literally have one person steering. You know, you might have somebody on the cannon, somebody looking out. You know, somebody, you know, going to repair, and you're calling out certain things. Like, I could totally see that being fun. You know, working together on the Millennium Falcon
or on like a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, somebody's piloting it. You've got somebody on the guns cannons up top, and somebody
the shields,
the ion cannon. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And you know, it's another good example of something similar to that was there's that Star Trek game where you're commanding
the VR game.
Deck. Yeah. And speaking of VR, there's VR compatibility with this game.
Which could be cool.
On PC and PS4. Yes. And I like that it's just compatibility and it's not a VR game, because like you have that option to take the headset off. But I am so excited for that aspect of it, because you can sit in the cockpit and look around. And I've played, you know, games like that, you know, with a controller, just looking around. Like, I think just having that option is so exciting, and it's a Star Wars game.
That's cool.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to throw in anything from the Mandalorian in this?
Wow, that's a good question. We know it does take place after Return of the Jedi. So I guess there's a possibility, maybe some
his ship's in it, or
maybe
something.
A Mandalorian DLC or something. You know, especially since, you know, we see that it's coming out October 2nd, I think it is. That's right around when Mandalorian season 2 comes out. So there's definitely there's definitely some potential there for cross promotion. I really don't see why not. It almost would seem silly if there wasn't something.
Right.
It's the right time period.
Is there, so obviously like we don't want everything in outer space.
Yeah. And I don't think it will be.
What planets do you think you want to see the most?
Planets. Well, I know it's been done in like every single game, but I still want it. It's Hoth.
Hoth, yeah.
I want to trip a snow speeder.
I know.
I know every single time there was even in Battlefront 1 when there was just a part of it, you could still trip a snow speeder, but it's so much fun. I want it again.
Hoth was done so well in the first Battlefront. I didn't care what game mode we were playing. If it was on Hoth, I was happy.
Yes.
It could have even been inside and not even going outside on Hoth. Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Yep. Totally. I guess I would also like to see the Death Star.
Okay. That's interesting.
Just because within memory, I don't remember flying around the Death Star in Battlefront 1. Is it in Battlefront 2 now? I have honestly no idea. But it was in Rogue Squadron, at least for the N64, I think.
Yeah,
I think it would be really cool to be able to fly around a Death Star. Now, this is after Return of the Jedi, so are we going to get that? Probably not, unless they work in a flashback or if it's on a map, a multiplayer map.
Or they used the other thing. What's it called? The Starkiller base?
Starkiller base. Yeah, but it's
not the same.
It's like 30 years after Return of the Jedi. So, I mean, in theory, these pilots have been pilots for a few years. Why couldn't they have been involved in the final battle, at the second Death Star where they were near the Ewoks planet? It's
Endor.
Endor.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm excited for Thursday. I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the best things too is the cross-platform thing, because I really wanted to get it for PlayStation, and I know you guys might not want to, but here's the thing now with the VR compatibility, I want to get it for PC so I can use my Oculus, and I'm wondering if you guys would prefer to get it for PlayStation so you can use your PlayStation headset if you wanted to.
I haven't decided yet. I definitely would rather get it for PC because why not play a game on a PC when what I mean, instead of PlayStation, especially since I don't have a PS4 Pro. I just have a PS4. So it kind of sucks playing at 30 frames, and it's an old PS4. So sometimes it's kind of like slow and I feel like it's just not that great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have the PS4 VR and it's tempting.
Yeah.
I just don't know. But I don't know if I were to play with you guys, I don't know if I'd play it on the VR. I think that would be something I would just do for like by myself to try to have fun.
I think I would want to play with you guys in VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to sit right here with my Oculus and it's going to be amazing. And then, if I have the option to take it off, great. Because I honestly, like, I'm almost tempted to get a PlayStation VR.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Why?
No, don't do it.
They're cheap.
Yeah, they're cheap, but the PS5's coming out and they're going to have a new PlayStation VR for that.
True.
There's no point.
That's true. It's too late. It's too late. I'm not going to get the use out of it.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to touch on this before we switch to our final little topic here?
No. I think I'm good.
So, last little thing. This is not new news, but I think it's exciting news. I've been looking forward to this for months now. Tomorrow, we're finally getting the first DLC from the new Pokemon Sword and Shield games, and I'm very excited. We've never had a Pokemon DLC before. We're patching a new Pokemon in a new area, and not much additional story stuff, but there is a little something to do. It seems like it's going to be like a day's worth of gameplay. But I think the main thing is, getting access to this new island and new Pokemon.
I think that's cool. I think it's always exciting to go and journey out and try to find some new Pokemon or what could be in the wild. I've been staying away from anything anything Pokemon related.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what any of them look like, what any of them are called, what the island even looks like. I have no idea. So for me, that's exciting because I personally like my Pokemon games where I run into something, and just like when I was a little kid playing Red version on the black and white freaking Game Boy Pocket, it's just, oh, what is this? I've never seen this before. Cool. I'm so excited. Oh, play. Look what I caught. I got this like crazy Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly old Pokemon, which is okay,
mostly, but there's still some, right? There's still some brand new.
Do you want me to
right?
tell you, or
no, there is, right? I was under the assumption there was brand new ones too.
There will be a couple.
A couple, right? Okay.
Like, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
And then there's also a couple of older Pokemons that are regional, right? It's the region whatever for whatever.
The Galarian, yeah. I mean, we already saw Galarian Slowpoke.
Right.
Slowpoke was added. You know, you trigger this event that they patched in, and they give you one. You know, but of course there's a Galarian Slowbro, and like I wasn't a fan of Galarian Slowpoke, but I love Galarian Slowbro, and I know you haven't seen it.
I haven't.
And I'm not a fan of the variants, but I do really like this one. And I will say, like, it kind of made me realize what a good job they've done with Slowpoke this entire time. Cause like, I don't know about you, but I really like Slowpoke, and I love water and psychic Pokemon. So he's both, you know. Slowbro's pretty cool. And then, you know, when Johto came out, Slowking, like, he's kind of cool, and he has the thing on his head. And even as much as I don't care for the Mega evolutions, Mega Slowbro's kind of cool when he's in the thing on his tail, and he's just kind of sitting in there, you know.
I think for me, if they didn't do such a good job with Slowpoke in the Pokemon, like the original animated series, I probably wouldn't like him. But because of those episodes of just him sitting there, you know, putting his tail in the water and like kind of getting to know the character in more than just like a handheld video game, I do like Slowpoke.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of cool.
Yeah, cool.
He's kind of like Dopey, but he's like a cool Dopey. He's like that dopey friend that you have that like you love, but you're like, oh gosh, what's wrong with that person? But like you love him anyway.
Fair enough. I never took him as like too dopey, just that he was slow. And then, you know, once Slowpoke goes past that, you know, he seems like a little faster.
And Slowking made him very powerful and useful.
Mm-hmm. So like I can't wait to get my Galarian Slowbro. You know, we already had Charizard and Charmander in the game, and Charizard had his not Dynamax, Dynamax form. But, you know, we're getting Squirtle and Bulbasaur finally kind of coming in, and they get their forms as well. Granted, those were also patched in because you can do the Pokemon Home, and you can pick a Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. So, of course, I already got a Squirtle with his hidden ability there. But yeah, I love the Pokemon games. You know, I caught them all already within Sword and Shield, and I've been hopping around, you know, my back catalog of games while I've been waiting for this. So I'm excited to keep catching them all, you know, because we're expand our Pokédex here a little bit, and keep on shiny hunting too, because I'm not done. You
always gotta be shiny hunting.
I'm breeding for shiny Feebas right now because I want a shiny. I say melodic, but I know it's Milotic, but it just doesn't sound right to me.
It just sounds wrong. Hits the ear wrong.
Yeah, Milotic.
It's like, the tick part.
But like melodic. Like, doesn't it look like a melodic? You know, it's like, it's elegant. It's melodic. And it rhymes with exotic. You know, like, I just feel like it's a better...
I get what you're saying. I just think Milotic just sounds stupid.
Milotic. Like,
Milotic.
Like, hi, Milo. You know, like, it's...
Do you have a tick? Or like...
I don't know.
I don't know. It sounds bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Milotic. So I'm going to keep saying melodic, and I don't care. But yes, I will be resuming my Pokemon journey very soon. This one.
Yeah, me too. I stopped playing it actually.
Yeah, which means
I didn't catch them all. I kind of just fell off, and there's so many things coming out. Animal Crossing will be the show. Maybe, I don't know. You probably have. I don't know if I even have like that great of stuff.
Well, when you battle, it levels.
I know it levels. At I just don't know if I have like. I can probably have 3 Pokemon that I really like, and you know what I mean, or 4. I don't know if I have like 2 extras that I'm like. They have good enough moves where I feel comfortable, but yeah, we do got to battle.
Yes, because we haven't even battled on this generation yet. I haven't even battled my wife. I haven't battled anybody.
To be fair, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of Pokemon to catch.
Yes, and I've been like popping on and catching the den Pokemon when there's an event and something appears more often. You know, I would go catch them. Although I missed like the last couple because I went from Pikachu to Eevee to something else, and I only got the Pikachu and I forgot to go back and do the Eevee and the other thing that they recently had, which is fine. You can still get them. You know, it's no big deal. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this, and you know, especially adding some of my favorite Pokemon like Squirtle, Slowpoke. I'm excited. You know, let's do this. Very much looking forward to that. Anything else before we wrap up here, Mr. Lance?
I think that's all I had for today.
Well, then we appreciate you all listening once again this week. You know, there was no E3, there was no E3 this year. You know, like I said, so there's going to be lots and lots of video game news. I think over the next couple of weeks, and you know that's been apparent with the PlayStation and you know, this new Squadrons announcement. BlizzCon, I believe, only fairly recently got canceled. They mentioned doing some kind of virtual thing, so I guess we'll wait and see that. You know what they announced with that is that we don't have an Overwatch 2 date, you know, and we don't know what's going on with really anything else. But as the news rolls out, you know, we'll be sure to bring it up as we go. I'm hoping Ken will be back next week, so we'll see if we end up not doing a comic book centered episode next week. I'm willing to bet that's where we land. Lance, where can people find out more and support you?
Well, you can find out more at Twitter and Instagram and on Twitch at Tales of Lance. That's TALES of Lance. And yeah, I'm going to be streaming a couple of times this week. I'm going to be trying to stream this Thursday when we're going to watch the gameplay. I'm trying to watch it with you guys. So if anyone's interested and wants to, you know, chime in, tell me what you guys think about it while you're watching it, come hang out with me and let me know on Twitch or even on Twitter and Instagram. Just comment on my post.
Yep. Twitch.tv/Tales of Lance. And of course, I'll have a small part in a new game that's an indie game that's coming out called Paws and Soul. That's going to be out on Steam 1 month from today. That's July 16th. It's by Electro Stalin Entertainment. Looks like a fun, little interesting kind of artsy kind of game. You know, you're this reincarnated wolf and you kind of go through and you find out things about your life. Small role in there, but it's just exciting to be in this game. I thought it was slated to also come out for the Switch, but I haven't been able to find any more information on that. But I'll keep you guys updated. But I'll post a link to both Tales of Lance and this game within the description of this podcast. But thank you all for taking the time to listen, like, and share, and subscribe. You know, I greatly appreciate your support, and we will see you next week.
Have a good week.